Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that you are holding in your hands a blueprint. Not just any blueprint, but the master plan to build the life of your dreams. What if I told you that there exists a success formula that never fails, a formula as timeless as the law of gravity and as predictable as the sunrise? That formula has guided countless men and women, from ordinary beginnings to extraordinary achievements. And it can do the same for you. I know, because I've lived it. When I was younger, I had no special advantages. I worked as a laborer, digging ditches under the hot sun, washing dishes in small restaurants, and struggling to make ends meet. I had no degree, no connections, no money. But I had something that turned out to be far more powerful, a belief that if I could just discover the right formula for success and follow it faithfully, my life could change. And that's what I want to share with you today, the success formula that never fails. 1. Clarity of purpose. Every great achievement begins with clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. Too many people drift through life as if they were a ship without a rudder, moved by the winds, tossed by the tides, going wherever circumstances push them. But successful people are different. They know exactly where they are going. They have written goals. They have a vision. They know the why behind their actions. When I was starting out, one of my mentors told me, "Brian, if you want to be successful, sit down, take out a piece of paper, and write down exactly what you want, clearly, specifically, and in detail." I thought it sounded too simple, but I tried it. That one exercise completely changed the trajectory of my life. So, the first step in this formula is clarity of purpose. Take the time to define your destination before you begin your journey. 2. Taking 100% responsibility. The second step is to accept complete responsibility for your life. No excuses, no blaming others, no waiting for luck or circumstances to change. The day my life turned around was the day I stopped pointing fingers at my background, my boss, or the economy. I realized that if my life was going to change, it was up to me, and only me. Responsibility is power. As soon as you stop giving your excuses, you start gaining control. Every successful man or woman has made this decision. They've said, "I am the captain of my ship. I am the architect of my destiny." 3. The power of goals. The third part of the success formula is goals. Written, specific, measurable, time-bound goals. Here's a truth I've seen over and over again. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. People without goals drift, wander, and fall victim to distractions. I still remember the first time I wrote down a list of goals. Within just a few years, I had achieved many of them, things I never thought possible when I was struggling. Goals are like magnets. They pull you forward, they keep you focused, and they give you energy when the road gets tough. If you do nothing else after this talk, go home, sit down, and write out 10 clear goals you want to accomplish in the next year. That single act could change your life. 4. Self-discipline and consistency. Now, goals are important, but goals without discipline are just wishes. That brings us to the fourth part of the formula, self-discipline. Discipline is doing what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. It is the bridge between your intentions and your accomplishments. Let me tell you a story. I once trained for a marathon. I am not naturally a runner, but I wanted to challenge myself. Every morning at 5 a.m., whether it was raining, freezing, or whether I felt tired, I laced up my shoes and ran. At first, it was torture, but slowly, I got stronger. And on the day of the marathon, I crossed the finish line, not because I was the fastest, but because I was the most consistent. Success works the same way. Discipline and consistency, applied day after day, will take you farther than talent or luck ever could. 5. Continuous learning and growth. The fifth part of the formula is continuous learning. The world is changing faster than ever before. What got you here will not get you there. To succeed, you must commit to lifelong learning. I made a decision early in my career. I would invest 3% of my income back into my own education. I bought books, attended seminars, listened to audio programs in my car. Over the years, those investments multiplied my results many times over. One idea, just one, can save you years of hard work. One book can change your life. So never stop learning, never stop growing. 6. The law of cause and effect. Here's the sixth step, And one of the most powerful principles I've ever learned, the law of cause and effect. Everything happens for a reason. Success is not an accident. Failure is not an accident if you do what other successful people do. Consistently and long enough, you will get the same results. When I learned this, it gave me hope. Because it meant that success wasn't reserved for the lucky few. It meant that if I studied successful people, copied their actions, and avoided the mistakes of failures, I too could succeed. Think of it as a recipe. If you bake a cake and you follow the right ingredients in the right order, the cake comes out perfectly every time. Success works the same way. 7. Courage and action. The seventh part of the formula is courage. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. Courage means acting despite fear. Most people wait until they feel ready before they take action. But if you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. I remember when I started my first business, I was terrified. I didn't know if I would succeed. I didn't know if I would even survive. But I took action anyway. I knocked on doors, I made phone calls, I gave presentations. And little by little, courage turned into confidence. To lean into fear, not away from it. Action cures fear, and inaction magnifies it. 8. Persistence and resilience. Now, let's talk about the 8th step, persistence. The ability to keep going, especially when things go wrong. Here's the truth. Every great success is built on a mountain of failures. The difference is that successful people refuse to quit. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Walt Disney went bankrupt twice before building Disneyland. Colonel Sanders was rejected by more than 1,000 restaurants before someone agreed to try his chicken recipe. The lesson: never, ever quit. When you persist, when you keep going, when you refuse to give up, the universe eventually yields. 9. Serving others and creating value. The 9th step in the formula is serving others. Success comes from creating value. The more value you deliver, the more rewards you receive. If you want to make a lot of money, don't chase money. Instead, ask, how can I help more people? How can I solve more problems? How can I create more value? The wealthiest people in the world are those who have found ways to serve the greatest number of people. Think about it. Innovators, entrepreneurs, leaders, they all focus on contribution first and rewards second. Your rewards in life will always be in direct proportion to the value you create for others. 10. The mindset of belief and possibility. Finally, the 10th step is belief. Success begins in your mind. You must believe that success is possible for you. When I started, I had no evidence that I would succeed, but I had belief. I believed that if I worked hard, learned constantly, and followed the formula, I could create a better future. And belief is contagious. People can sense it. When you believe in yourself, others begin to believe in you too. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." That is the power of belief. Closing. So, what is the success formula that never fails? Clarity, responsibility, goals, self-discipline, continuous learning, cause and effect, courage, persistence, serving others, belief. This is the formula. It has worked for millions of people throughout history. It has worked for me, and it can work for you. Now, the choice is yours. You can leave this room today inspired but unchanged, or you can take this formula, apply it, and transform your life. The future is wide open. Your dreams are waiting. Success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of following the formula. And if you do, I promise you success will never fail you. Thank you.